Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, Vanity Pride, and as usual, we're taking a look at Tower of God. So we are on Season 2, Chapter 319, which is on the 44th floor, I believe. Didn't take note of that, my bad. But it's the last station, Part 4. And so basically we start off with images of all these people bowing down to Yuri because, they show her respect that way. Plus, she has 2 of the 13-month series in her possession. So that makes it even more worthy to be bowing down to her and paying her respects. And so, going back to hahaha, who we were talking about last chapter, she's proceeding with caution because she's still, suspicious of what the heck is going on with Yuri. But obviously, she can't rebel and be like, oh, you can't bow to her, keep going. She basically tells them, oh, hey, do as is custom, pay respects to her. But yeah, so when Yuri shouts this specifically, which I'm going to read right now, that's, hahaha. She has several moments in this chapter where she's just she gets more suspicious, and just wait till the end. It's pretty crazy. So anyway, to the Yuri part. Listen, that man is Karaka, a slayer from Foog. He committed high treason by getting on the train with the regulars and taking it over. I've been on the train this whole time to deal with that heinous criminal. I'm going to punish him now, so get back and stay out of my way. And even Fazenko Drak is like, what the heck is going on? And of course, the division commander, like I said, she's like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, here, I'll just read her thoughts. Strange. I thought the regulars teamed up with Foog and were running the train. First, I'll have to hear what Yuri has to say. And that's where she tells everyone, oh, yeah, stop what you're doing, just bow down. Keeping with the customs. And then after that, we do get a snippet of Rachel, Traveler, and Yura, which their little bit didn't really add much to the story. It was more of them just realizing, oh, something's going on, outside the train, because there's all these noises coming from there. So that was basically it. I mean, we all kind of figured they were on the train, but I don't know, it's just a quick little thing oh, hey, here are these people. So, and I mean, who knows what will happen to them, because I don't want to ruin it, but later on, something happens with the train. So, I wonder how they are going to get out of that one. But anyway, we then go back to Yuri and Karaka, and they eventually face off in battle with Karaka initiating it. And then Yuri fights back by igniting the Green April. And this is where I want to take the time to give a shout out to one of my YouTube commenters. You guys are all awesome. Know that. But okay. So here is AlphaCent007's comment. Last time Yuri ignited the 2-month 13 series, she went insane. So probably not a great idea. Which I agree. Yeah, I kind of forgot that she had gone insane. And you bring up a really good point. But I guess, going back to SIU's blog, I mean, he did say when the Zahard's army is greeted by the presence of either Zahard or a princess, they obviously bow down in respect. And either Zahard or that princess in question, they demand more respect when they have a 13-month series in their possession. Having 2 is an even bigger deal. And then, adding to that too, she only ignited Green April right now. She never ignited Black March at all. So she might be taking the precautions. She might eventually, kind of disignite Green April and then ignite Black March. So maybe she could do a trade-off with I can't even talk. Maybe she could do a trade-off between the 2 weapons as she's facing off with Karaka and then taking out all these other people who are trying to get into the fight. So that's my thought on that. And then on top of that, I also thought, well, if we ever see any characters in training, it's typically Bomb. Of course, he's the number 1 character that we see in training. There's also Kun and Rock that we've seen in training as well. But I don't think we've ever seen Yuri do some kind of training. So maybe, we don't know, after she experienced that whole insane episode of, she can't use the 13 months because that makes her go crazy. And I think it happened to another princess before. I can't remember who. But perhaps Yuri went through some kind of training to kind of gain more control of that. And so then she doesn't go all crazy when she uses both of them again. But, I mean, like I said, in this chapter, we only saw her ignite the one 13-month series. We didn't see her ignite the other one. So she could be taking precautions, or maybe it's like a surprise hit that she'll do next chapter or down the road. Because I think it would be really cool if she's able to use both without going crazy. But it would require a heck of a lot of training. So all the possibilities, guys. All the possibilities on that. But yes, thank you again to Alpha Cent 007 for your comment. All right, so with Yuri igniting the green April, Joaquin obviously sees this from where he's falling from the sky, right? And speaking of falling, he falls into a flashback. So I actually want to read through that. I used to be a high ranker who dominated a whole floor of the tower, but now as soon as I left there, here I am staring up at the sky. This is just shameful. And then this is where the flashback starts. So young Joaquin is calling out, "Father, father, father. Long time no see, father. I'm not sure if you remember me, but my name is Joaquin. You showed me the outside world before. I thought long and hard about what you told me. When you told me to leave this place and become a demon, maybe you meant that I should train my abilities as a ruler who looks after my subjects and then come back here." "No," so that's the father responding. "Pardon?" "What I meant was, I see the seeds of a demon in you." And so at this point, young Joaquin's shocked. Back to the dad. "So leave this place. Go to the deep, damp, and dark lair of evil. That's the best place for you to develop your power. While you're there, use your rage towards me as fuel, and increase your power by burning and devouring the souls of the weak. Perhaps you're destined to fail and ultimately be incinerated. But that is what you were born for. Don't deceive yourself. Give yourself over to the joys and pleasures of murder, until everything seems pointless someday." So let me point out, I mean, when I saw that, or when I read through this, I was just like, oh, this is so awful. Like, I don't understand what it is with these horrible father figures for characters in Tower of God. I mean, you have Coon's dad, who wasn't exactly exemplary. I don't care that he's Daddy Coon and, like, super attractive, but I mean, he's not the greatest father. He has a shit ton of kids. It's crazy. And then on top of this, you have Joaquin's dad, who basically just called his child a demon. He's pushing him away. He's telling him to, like, go away, go to, like, some dark, damp place. Like, why would you say that to your own kid? That's awful. And then, we obviously have suspicions of Wang Nan being Zahard's son. I mean, Zahard isn't really the exemplary father example either. So it's just like, all right, fucked up dads for the win. Jesus. All right. And then I wanted to also give another shout out, because at this part where the dad says, "and increase your power by burning and devouring the souls of the weak," which, yeah, obviously for White to maintain his power, he's devouring souls. I mean, we saw that like way back when. And so shout out to CoolFoo270. This was their comment. "I think White's power requires constant consumption of soul. Remember Daniel's power. After using some of the train platform guardian, or some for the train platform guardian, sorry, I thought I misread that. He said something like, 'Now I'm not fully charged with soul.' Daniel's power came from White, and I think their power works the same way, burning soul as fuel. This would explain why Bomb said the soul disappears after fighting White. But Clone also said that she hopes the soul will help him in long term, so I don't know." And yeah, so that makes sense, because his power would deplete if, he requires the souls to kind of maintain that balance of, power and I don't even know what I'm trying to say, guys. But yeah, you get what I'm saying, though. Like, he needs soul as, like, a fuel source to maintain his power. And so he's able to, kind of snap back into it. And we're going to go back to the actual chapter here, and I'll keep saying what I'm saying in a second. So the final clone's like, "Joaquin, hey, Joaquin, what are you doing? Aren't you going to help them?" And then he's like, "Don't worry, I'll keep my promise. I can feel power building up inside me." So I feel like he's kind of giving himself like an extra oomph, and then he's actually going to kill someone right now. So that's probably where he's able to, acquire some more fuel for his power. That's ultimately what I was trying to get to. But anyway, we'll see more of him in a little bit. For now, we go to Hwaryun having the train engineer open door D12. And from there, of course, emerges Team B. And so H14 is this girl. I failed to mention it before, but she almost reminded me of Xia in a way because of the rabbit ears. So anyway, this girl takes notice of Team B emerging from that door, and she goes to try and stop them, but she's eventually taken out by Joaquin. So Joaquin is back. Like I said, he killed someone, so I feel like that obviously kind of helps him, I don't know, take hold of her soul and refuel his power to where he needs it to be. I mean, it would help to, like, do more killings, of course. So anyway, Dorian Frog is just, like, shocked about this. And I'm like, what did I say? Like, don't underestimate this boy. I told you he was going to come back, and you were going to be left in surprise. So there you go. You get what you ask for, I guess, even though she didn't really ask for it. I don't know. It's kind of worked in the opposite way. But anyway, eventually those two also engage in their own battle. So now we have Dorian Frog versus, I was going to say Karaka. I mean, Dorian Frog versus Joaquin, and of course Karaka versus Yuri. And so speaking of Karaka and Yuri, they're still in the middle of their fight when freaking Rookie of the Year Yuryu decides to traverse in the middle of that battleground. I'm like, dude, that is like the most stupidest move you could ever make. Like, you could have gone around them, or I don't know. I mean, obviously you had a duty to try and stop Team B, but freaking go around. Like, don't just, like, try and get in the middle there. Because, of course, Yuri noticed, struck a strike at him, and then Karaka was the one to finish off Yuryu. So, rest in peace, Yuryu. Yuryu, not Yurio. Rest in peace, H14 as well. So, of course, this does not escape Xianhee's eyes. She saw that this happened, so of course she's growing even more suspicious of what the heck is going on. Because why would Yuri just, like, suddenly strike at him, you know? I mean, she did specify that she didn't want anyone getting involved in the fight, but, you know. And she didn't kill him. Karaka was the one who killed him, but anyway, that doesn't stop Xianhee from being suspicious. All right, so, so real quick too, before I go on to the next part, maybe Xianhee's also suspecting Karaka in a sense. Because see, like I said last chapter, I'm like, Karaka has to be in on the plan, I feel. I know some people have said that that's probably not the case, but who knows? Who knows? We'll find out in due time. But anyway, now we go to Hwaryun and the train engineer. She's telling him to break the connection, and soon enough, the various carts, right, start falling from the tracks. And of course, again, this does not go unnoticed. Dorian Frog noticed it. Joaquin did as well. And of course, Xianhee notices that as well. And then at this point, the cart that Team A is in is falling as well. And Hwaryun, I'm guessing it's her, is saying something to Andrasi, so I'll go ahead and read that real quick. Princess, snap out of it and listen carefully. Did you read the note from Viol? We'll take plan B. The Silver Dwarf saved us a spot. He'll get us out of here as quickly as possible. See you at the station. Because then Andrasi's like, damn it, that freaking guide. And she starts to use Bong Bong, but it does not work, sadly. And I had predicted the fact that I was like, dude, well, not predicted, but I was saying like, oh, dude, freaking Andrasi just needs to grab Kun, Bong Bong herself, like, onto the last station, and that solves the problem of like, oh, well, you know, having to like move Kun unconsciously and taking the risk by being exposed to all this, like, Zahard army soldiers. Like, if they notice, they're gonna try and stop them. So it would kind of just make things a little bit easier if she just kind of vanished away with Kun, and then she could always come back for Ball and the others. Granted, she can take a group of people, as she was attempting to do right now, but yeah, anyway. My Kundrasi fantasy, okay? I gotta live it out, guys. But anyway, she tried the Bong Bong, it did not work, and it turns out that the cart that they're in got halted, and it even got kind of tilted back in place, I guess. And it is done by none other than Xianhee, who, of course, was suspecting this whole thing the whole time. So I'll go ahead and read that last little bit here, too. She says, splitting up our forces, creating a surprise situation, and taking advantage of the confusion to escape. It was a brilliant plan, but we're not so easy to fool, you criminals. And then, of course, Yuri's like, oh, like, the plan isn't working, or it didn't work. But, I mean, I feel like they could still have a chance, because I tried to think back on any other theories that I had for this chapter. I didn't really have any. The only one that I came up with was for like this last part, because I'm wondering why the bong bong refused to work. I don't know if Xianhe has something in her power to halt it, but then again, how does she know that Andrasi had the bong bong? Unless she could sense it somehow, I don't know. But then I also thought too, well, maybe their cart, because if you look back at this image, a few of the carts are still intact on the track, while other ones are falling off. Maybe they were in a later, like, because I don't know what door number they're attached to, what cart they were in. So maybe, you know, they got a late start falling and Andrasi tried to use Bong Bong, but because they were moving and suddenly dropping, then that probably impeded her from being able to vanish them away. So I'm wondering if Bong Bong can only work if you're kind of standing still or not moving as drastically as, you know, a falling cart of the train. So that could be it too. But now that they are halted, will Andrasi have a chance to use Bong Bong and get themselves out of there before Xianhe, like, you know, forces them out or frickin' does something to destroy this cart? Because that would be bad. So hopefully in the time now that they're halted, they can Bong Bong the heck out of there. But like I said, I don't know if Xianhe holds some power that could prevent them from doing that and prevent Andrasi overall from using Bong Bong. So I don't know. We're left in suspense. So we'll have to just wait for next time, right? But yeah, so as usual, you guys leave your comments below, leave your theories. Look forward to hearing on those. And, you know, thank you guys for always like commenting and always supporting me and always checking out my videos. I truly appreciate it. So that being said, thank you again, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. Okay, I lied. So I did want to point out another comment that someone left here. James Epperson and CoolFood270. So James Epperson said that he has a feeling that Evan and Dorian Frog might know each other, and that's probably where Evan got the ring, because remember Frog Fisher was that ring he had. And yeah, I could definitely see the connection, you know, like it's too froggy to avoid. I don't know, that does not make sense at all. I was trying to make some funny pun and I totally failed. But yeah, so I could see that, and that'd be interesting if they did know each other. And hopefully Dorian Frog, like, because we saw Evan for a brief moment outside of the train, so hopefully Dorian Frog, you know, kind of catches sight and is able to go face off with him or something. You know, it'd be kind of cool to see that, but we shall see what happens with that. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Thank you for pointing that out. I kind of forgot that Evan had that ring. I mean, there's so much to keep track of with the story that I'm just like, That's why I thank you guys for the constant reminders. I appreciate it a lot. And I was also forgetting the darn blog notes. So we're going to go ahead and read through that really fast. This chapter's image concept is the concept of leaders, Chunhee and her kids. When you have leaders like this, viewership, I think this means viewership, should go up. The mortality rate also goes up. This week there are many fights, right? Like I said, White versus Dorian Frog, and then Karaka and Yuri facing off against each other. It feels like the falling White coin has been slowly growing. I've said this before, but dodging an Arie's sword is virtually impossible. When getting hit by the Arie's sword, one should be moving forward, presumably to counterattack. But this is really only viable when the power skill gap is fairly large. Usually if you encounter a member of the REA family who is similar level, you should avoid them. The direct line of REA is small, so it's true that a chance to meet one face-to-face is fairly small. In general, the movement that I want to see the most is REA's swordsmanship. Even though it is shown in a battle scene, portraying the swordsmanship on a still frame has a limited feeling to it. It feels like Karaka and Yuri have been bumping heads throughout the Hell Train. The situation has been set up for them to be rivals. Ooh, set up. See? The truth is, even though Karaka has the power skill to be a slayer, there are other more important reasons why he is a slayer. In the battle scene, it's evident that Yuri is shown to be stronger. Lately, Yuri's temper seems to be rising as the days pass. Ooh, okay, see? He even points out that Yuri is stronger. So, obviously, that requires training, right? So, hopefully, she's able to control both the 13-month series, you know, and not give in to the insanity. But we'll see. Like, we haven't seen that yet. She's, like I said, only ignited the one. So, we'll have to wait. Well, even then, Karaka is a character with an immense potential, but that's true for Yuri as well. Be strong, Karaka. Because there were so many ranker battles, it feels the regulars haven't been taken care of properly. Note, SIU is essentially saying he feels he's neglected the regulars in the chapter and focus on rankers. From this week on, there will be more focus on the regulars. I mean, the focus will still be on staying alive this week. It will probably be a little difficult, haha. Hopefully Bomb and Co. will not die at Ha Chunhee's hand. The truth is, lately, I feel like my lifespan is shortening. If it continues this way, who knows, I may pass before my characters do. No, SIU, take a break, sir, please. You need one, and we would not deny you one. Like, we would much rather you take a break, take it easy, get better, before you keep pushing yourself this hard. Anyways, next week, Bomb's fate should be cleared up. Okay, then, everyone please have a healthy week. Next week, I will come back to Bomb and his fate. Be happy, thank you. But yeah, I mean, I can see what he means by, focusing a lot more on the rankers than the regulars. I mean, I feel it's intriguing to see the rankers engage in battle. I mean, we've seen so many regulars fight that it's like, okay, like, let's see more ranker battles and, because that obviously is more, what's the word I'm trying to look for? The battles will be more powerful because, like, obviously rankers rank higher up on the lists of rankings, right? So, just seeing them face off with the potential that they have is incredible. So, I mean, we've only had like a bit of snippets in this chapter, but, hopefully we'll get more next chapter. So I don't think it's a bad thing that he didn't focus on the regulars fighting. I mean, they can't really fight each other on the train. They're all like on each other's side. Whereas the rankers, I mean, you've got the Zahard's army versus Yuri versus Karaka versus Joaquin. So I think that calls for something more interesting than having the regulars fight. But maybe he means like getting the regulars to face off against the rankers, but even that's bad too because the regulars are, more below the line than rankers. So anyway, that was pretty much it. So goodbye for reals now, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.